doing? Well, as you probably gathered, we're in Mozart, and this is going to be a sort of weekly thing when we can get round to it. But really, it's about you and us and things, and knowing about Mozart, knowing about me, knowing about Mark.
Yeah.
And Mark, say the same. See?
I know what he's been smoking.
Well, it was only a little one. So Mark,
Ken, what are you drinking out of interest? You got an
I've
interesting
got
bottle
a
there.
lovely bottle, by the way, right now, for those who don't know. This is Kylie Malone's actual Prosecco. It is fabulous. It's a lovely, lovely rosé flavour, very light. And I'm telling you this much, I do lots of cocktails in my bar, which you'll find out later on. But I can tell you right now, this is gorgeous. I haven't drank all the bottle yet, but the night's early. So, Kylie Malone.
Apparently it's sealed with a kiss. I don't know, kissed every bottle. That came out
Oh,
of the factory.
yes.
Or she spat in it. I don't know how she felt on the day.
Here's a secret for you all. Back in the days when I was in sales, I actually served Kylie Malone. And this is going back a very, very long time. And yes, I actually did serve her because I used to work for a group. I can't tell you what it was, but it was in King's Road. And we had lots of people from various, whatever. We turned up there, and one day it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and Kylie Malone actually came into the shop. And I don't know if she was doing, what was that Australian sitcom she was doing? It's called, exactly, it was called that. So anyway, so over to you, Mark.
Well, hello. Well, yeah, no, I guess, so this is all about Mozart really, and you as the community of Mozart. So I guess a good question to start us off is what is Mozart and where did it come from?
I love classical music. I always have to say that. It's one of those things that touch the heart. And back in the days, in my early days, not too long ago, I loved recording music. And I found classical music after going to a concert at Wembley Arena and listening to what I heard. I've never stopped listening to it. So why Mozart? I think the name itself speaks for itself. It's one of those names that, you know, everybody's heard of it. And so having a small place like this, build it and they will come. I'll tell you more about it later, but at the moment, Mozart's, because Mozart attracts lovely people, musicians, producers, entertainers, or just curiosity.
Yeah, it's interesting. So would you say you're a bit of a classical fan yourself, Ken?
Eclectic is the word, but classical I love. A lot of the stuff in classical when I used to be, just the other day, 21. I just can't get out of my head how all the instruments are made up in terms of coming into the levels on the sound list.
There was an experience, wasn't there, you had like years ago, but the first time you heard, was it an oboe? I think it was an oboe you heard.
My favourite instrument is the oboe.
Right, yeah.
Followed by the flute. And then to just, I could say the word bang it. But I tell you what the word bang
Don't
is.
say that, mate. We're in
I'm
South East London.
trying to bang the music. Bang it. When I heard the oboe, which I found and took me almost 6 years to figure out what the sound was, because I was never into classical music, so I never knew. And then I heard it with a flute riding on the upper hemisphere, you could say. Katy Perry, well done. She just, by the way, she went to space and came back down again today. So big up her. I can't afford the bill, but you know, if anybody out there that wants to sponsor me, I'm good to go. Anyway, it was hearing something that I love, and when I heard it, I never looked back. It's like finding the smallest favourite.
Was it a Sade record?
It was Mary Jane.
Oh, Mary.
It was Mary Jane when she did the what was the album called at the time? Something Life.
Okay.
What life was it?
I have no idea.
We'll come back to the life.
Sorry.
So basically, it was her album and the actual concert. I fell in love with it. I was very fortunate to be there that night. That I found the music I really desire and loved.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. What about you? What's your angle? Tell us about who you are, Mark.
What, in terms of Mozart or?
In terms of music, performance.
Yeah. Well, I'm really eclectic is the word you used earlier. That's kind of where I am actually now. I've always been an eclectic musician. Interestingly, my father was a church organist. Still is. Sorry. And that was my first exposure to music. Was church organ here in an Anglican setting. But it didn't really gel with me. They tried me on keyboard lessons, tried me on piano lessons, and I wasn't having it really. I was a kid. I'd much rather, I don't know, eat biscuits, drink juice, watch the S Club 7 TV show.
Like you did when you were young.
Yeah. I still kind of have a fancy for that now. But yeah, they just didn't gel for me until I heard I heard Metallica. Secondary school, I heard Metallica.
Yes, I agree.
I was like, what is this music? It's incredible. And so I decided to really take the piano seriously, which is weird because it's, it's metal. And then I decided to stick with the piano. And lo and behold, however many years later now, over almost 2 decades, I've now made a career of it. I'm teaching music, directing music in a church now. So following my dad's footsteps with the organ and conducting choirs.
Very good.
But I'm a jazz and classical pianist, but primarily classical would be my,
So Mark, how did we two come together to create this entity that we're doing right now? But before we go further, Metallica. I think, and I would say, Metallica's drummer, drum roll, and a few couple of other drummers, is my absolute favourite drummer in the world. Now, back in the old days, I used to be a recording engineer. Very small, but the best thing I used to love that I still remember today, was miking up the drum kit. It is the orchestra of anything to do a full kit, and the bass player turns up. And that's how I fell in love with music completely, because of being in your own studio at the time and wiring and miking up a drum kit. You ask any engineer in the world, what is it like to do a drum kit, and he'll tell you symphony.
Interesting. So, there's a whole shebang, isn't it?
It's big.
Yeah.
The bigger the kit.
We're talking about music, folks. Back on his banging again.
It's all about the sound, and if you kick it, and you kick it like it's hot, and you have that dum, 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 that is the sound of compression. But when you get it played, and you've got the music flowing, I will not go back. And yes, I would say today, if I was to pick a band that I'd want to go and see, would definitely be Metallica. Just because of how that drummer, and you can always tell me the drummer's name, yes I do know, but you can always tell me, I would love to see them live on a full-on studio, but please don't give me a ticket at the back.
Well, if you know it, share it in the comments, and I personally will buy you a drink. But don't look it up online.
So what we're about right now is to introduce you to Mozart again.
Oh, they just joined. They didn't share it then.
Mark, Ken, here we are. What we're going to do...
Oh, sorry.
And Ken and Mark.
What?
And Ken. MK Mozart. Big it up. Give me a 5. So what we're going to do, each other week, we're going to introduce certain things, certain topics, and introduce you to certain topics and things that we feel that interests you. And if there's anything that you'd like to know, I run Mozart. Mark runs music in the way he does it. and we come together to talk to you about everything. So even for setup, sounds, notes, for me, it would be great